Alright, today we're going to be talking about how we repair a rope chain. I guess this is a rope chain. It's not the exact traditional kind of rope chain, but it is relatively close. This one has broken, and we're going to fix it. Now, the way I like to fix it is where it's basically back to brand new, and I'm going to solder each individual one of those links back together. And so first thing I do is I get a piece of easy solder and clip some very, very tiny little cubes off, and very easy to lose. And because you have to have them so that they will be the right size for how much you need for each of those little teeny tiny little links, and they're very small and very tiny. I'm using a macro lens for all of this footage because it was so tiny that you couldn't really see it. So you chip them up, you put them on your welding block, and you heat them up. And the first thing we're going to do right here is we're going to clip open the little link and fit it into the other one. Now, there's two links. One fits over two, and the other one fits over the other two, and they kind of interlock. There's two links kind of fitting over each other to kind of give it that rope feel, if you've ever seen a rope chain. And you've got to solder, after you've cut it, you've got to put a little bead of solder on it and connect them together. And because this is so tiny, it's very delicate. Now you can see my little piece that I'm using to pick up the solder. It is shaking all over the place because it's very, very tiny, and it's very hard to keep it still, and also my hands shake. Now, the margin of error as far as your heat goes is pretty much zero. You have to have your heat for your torch very, very low because it's so easy to melt the whole entire link just that fast. You're sitting there 1 second, and then all of a sudden you got a pile of gold the next. So you got to be really careful and just be very delicate in how you solder this together. So you got to do a couple of the different links. I had to do 3 of them on this one because it was broken a little differently. So I soldered 3 of these little links together, and then once you get done soldering it, I had my solder just a little bit too big, even though you could hardly see it originally. So I go back and I grind off the excess solder, and when you stretch it out, it's hard to tell even where you were working. That's the way I like to fix these particular rope chains, and if your customer can't tell where the broken part was, then that's probably the best scenario you can ask for. So you drop it in a pickle solution to clean off all the residue from the flux and the alcohol. Wait a few minutes, get it out, and you steam it off. Once it's nice and clean, you are pretty much done. These rope chains, you probably don't want to polish them because they're so small and you'll get it caught, but that's pretty much it. Pretty much back to new. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.